Bruce Forsyth. A bit of a take on Bruce Forsyth, obviously. I've had to go and get a different glass. So yeah, this is a juice-fronted IPA, or so it says on the bloody can. Yeah, a juicy bonus fruited IPA. Very different. 5%. It's got a load of writing on the back. Can't read that, so I'll bob that. Yeah, so there's loads of writing on the back. So it is small. And you know, for a lot of people, in a supermarket, the lighting's great. In this beer room, it's crap. So I can't see the writing properly. But yeah, obviously a bit of a good evening. Oh yeah, cracking day today. Done loads of work. So obviously a bit of a, shall we say, you know, I can't think of the bloody word now. A tribute, rather, to Bruce Forsyth. And he was a good bloke, wasn't he? So, dive in, as they say. Shamborsy. Good evening. Yeah, cracking day. Got up this morning at 8:30, went jet washing the decking. I've got a 36-foot by 12-foot decking. That's number one decking. And straight outside my back door, basically. And my bar's on there and that. Yeah, I thought I'd do a quick live. Not a long live, that's for sure. But wow, really hoppy, juicy, massive tropical nose on this. So yeah, I thought I'd crack one open, as it were. So yellowish pour, white head, hazy yellow pour. You could call it golden, I suppose, but it looks yellow to me. Oh, yeah, so that's a jet wash the decking. Then I've had to spray this stuff on the decking that dries. My decking's not treated. I put some treat on. Yeah, everything's up and running that as well. So I put this stuff on the decking. Years ago, I painted it. 25 quid a tin for this bloody Ron Seal stuff. Painted the decking, looked brilliant. I thought, oh my God, that looks amazing. The first frost, the dog was walking the paint in the house. The whole lot came up. 100 quid's worth down the drain. I could have cried, you know. 100 quid. I would rather not spent the 100 quid and just carried on spraying the jet washing the flipping decking. So nowadays I jet wash it and then I put this spray on that kills algae. And then what happens is it dries it all up. Good evening. Vintage Fullers. Oh, do you know, I can't get hold of it. Waitrose have ran out of stock. Obviously at Christmas, it's a box, isn't it? So it's a good Christmas present. And at 6 or 8 quid, whatever it was, you know, they're going to sell loads of that. And sadly, I missed out. You know, I knew I should have I'd done an order before Christmas. I didn't, and now I've missed out. I can't get hold of it. And I'm not paying silly prices, so, you know, it's one of those. I've drank it before, and it is bloody nice. 6, eh? No. Old Nutty M was from 5 years ago. Came up on my Facebook feed. And I looked and I thought, wow, I'd love to review this again. And then it reminded me of some of the other hens out there that haven't been around. Old Spooky M was a Halloween one they did a couple of years. Old Nutty N, they did that. Obviously, Old Hoppy N's still around in box sets, I think. You've got Hen's Tooth, which was part of Morrison's for years and years. A 7.3% bottle conditioned. And that was a cracker of a beer. And that's gone as well. And, you know, I've given Green King a good poke today. I've given him a poke on both Facebook and Instagram. Try and, you know, see if you can, because that's the only way of doing it with these breweries, is to give them a poke so that they actually might think about, oh, yeah, should we brew that? Put it into bottles again. Yeah, why not? I mean, I've done it to Tesco's before where I wanted something in Tesco's. So I've actually messaged Tesco's and said, can you stock this? And they did. And sadly, it's gone out of stock again. But they did for a couple of years in one of my local Tesco's, which was the King's Ginger Liqueur, which is a very nice ginger liqueur. Albeit quite expensive for what it is, like 50 CLs for that, 20 quid. So not the cheapest, you know, in any way, shape. So, Good juicy nose on it. Oh yeah, very, very juicy. Reminds me of some of my wines that I've made. So back to work tomorrow, back to the slog, and 2 days this week, 2 fucking days of heavy rain. And I want Friday off, which means I'm definitely going to work the days with the heavy rain. So I've already made my mind up. I've got my wellies. I've got some brand new wellies. Good evening. Oh, very well, actually. I start at 7 anyway, 7 till 3. That's my hours. So on both days when it's wet, I'm going to get the jet wash out and jet wash all the paths at work. It's a job that's got to be done. But, you know, might as well use the rain and do it in the rain. You know, as long as I don't get electrocuted, it's a good job. Get it done, get it out of the way. And then when it's dry, I can get on with the nice dry work. Because if you're going to jet wash, you might as well jet wash when it's raining anyway. Because you might get a bloody wet doing it in the first place. So always one of them jobs. So yeah, definitely a good juicy bit. I do like the juicy stuff. It does remind me of some of my wines. Yes, vintage ale. And you know, good evening. Sometimes, you know, as somebody who comes from a poor background, paying silly money for beer isn't the sort of thing I like to do. I like the 4 for 6 quids or the 4 for 5s, you know. But sometimes paying that bit extra for a bit of quality and experiencing some of the posher stuff, as it were, is nice. And there's a lot of people out there who even 4 for 6 quid's a struggle at the moment. And, you know, you really can understand where they're coming from. And because I come from that background, you know, a poor background, I understand the struggles people have. There's some people who've always been rich parents, rich families, and, you know, they don't understand the struggle that the poor people have. And coming from that background, you know, we're still poor. We just, good evening. We just work our money to the best advantage as we can. And sometimes, you know, money comes to you when you need it. At your most desperate, sometimes money comes. And for me, obviously, being a gardener, I can do extra gardening jobs at weekends if I want to. Not that I really like to too much. Yeah, 4 for 6 quid for St. Peter's Plum Porter and Titanic. And Old Tom is flipping amazing. Some of the beers on 4 for 6 are just outstanding. Some of the best beers in this country at that price. Yeah, they're not craft beers, but, you know, there's some amazing beers at that price for people on a budget. And for me, like the juice wines, when you're on a budget, the juice wines are amazing for what they are. You know, 30p for a bottle of wine, you can't fault it, can you? You know, getting pissed for 30 pence. That's what it's all about. Got to treat yourself. I mean, this year, I mean, some Christmases I would have never contemplated spending 40 quid on 4 Imperial Stouts for Christmas. And but they were nice, and yeah, I certainly felt them, I know that. So Brew York. No, I've not seen the lockdown calendar. I love the idea though. Trust Brewdog to come out with something like that. Of all the companies in the UK, you know, them lads who run it, James and Martin, they are clever. Their marketing is immense. You know, they're like politicians. They use the news to further their they use the news and what's in the media to further their business. And from that point of view, you can't fault them. You can't fault their business ethics. You know, they're putting Brewdog right at the front, even though these days Brewdog are not the leaders like they were years ago. Nowadays, people like Brew York, Northern Monk, Siren. God, there's shed loads now that are all so much at the front of the craft beer industry, and some of them producing stuff that Brewdog haven't done. And but Brewdog, you know, it's like that climate thing with that Forest. They're getting people to buy into their company to fund their Forest. It's hilarious, really, because these people are funding their Forest, and who gets all the benefit? Brewdog. And yeah, it's funny. It is funny, but clever. Oh, you can't beat cleverness. If you're going to do anything in life, you've got to be clever about it, haven't you? Oh, loving this fruity beer. Might have to take myself a bottle of wine at the house for later, though. A bottle of the home brew, as it were. Very smooth, very fruity, no bitterness in it, very easy drinking. Massive hop, tropical nose at the beginning. Now, very, very subtle nose now. So it's amazing, you know, the difference between coming out of the tin fresh to, what is it, 11 minutes later. Good evening. And no piss breaks tonight, which is great. Good evening. Thank you. You know, as much as it helps people, you know, people who say that it helps them, it helps me as well. It's weird, isn't it? You know, and obviously in the live reviews, you can talk to people, but in a lot of the reviews, yeah, Brewdog, very, very, you can see where other breweries have looked at Brewdog, and this is where imitation, you know, is the sincerest form of flattery. A lot of brewers look at Brewdog and think, right, we like the way what you're doing, but we are going to do what they're doing, but do it slightly different, because obviously you don't just want to be a copy of anyone, but do it slightly different, but try and do it better. I myself come from a website background, posting news and all that. So looking at other websites, doing what they're doing, but doing it slightly different and slightly better is an ethos I totally understand. And then, you know, it's like every job, isn't it, in life? That's my bottle. My bottle stack just started to fall over. Ready for the Amarone to be bottled up at some stage. I need to go and check it one day and have make sure, see if it's actually finished brewing. But yeah, the ethos is amazing. Yeah, what's on it? Good evening. Oh, still not warm in here. I mean, cracking day though. I'm getting the garden sorted out for the summer months. So the decking's jet washed, the algae killer's on there, all the lights are fixed, and I've got the hot tub room to finish cladding. And you know, when? So, very hoppy tropical nose, juicy throughout. I'd say tropical juicy, very smooth, very fruity, so easy drinking. It's on sale at I think it's Morrison's. 5% as yeah, I can read it now. And yeah, it is. It's very, very easy drinking. If you've ever done yourself any juice wines, and I'm talking orange juice, apple and mango, that sort of thing, you know, the lighter ones, this is very easy to drink, and very easy to get pissed on, because you could drink 2 or 3 of these and they won't touch the sides until you got up and started walking around, obviously. But yeah, very nice. It's Brew York, who I reviewed some beers, one beer at Christmas from them. And to be fair, they do a lot of nice beers. If you look on their website, some really cracking beers. Again, another craft beer brewery, you know, more craft beer than anything else. It's amazing how some breweries are always in the craft traditional market, and some are always in the craft beer. There's not many that do both craft and traditional stuff, which is why most of the stuff that's in bottles is more traditional, and most of the stuff that's in cans is more craft. Not always, but mostly. Oh, it's a chilly one, I'll say that. Temperature's dropping down tonight, but luckily my decking's nice and dried and drying out until the rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. It pisses down all day, but you know, you can't win them all, can you? You know, it's that time of the year. I'm glad I don't live in a floodplain, because every time it rains you must be so worried. There's some of their dark, but good evening as well. But there's some of their dark beers I do want to try. You know, I think there's a couple at Christmas. One that was 8%, and I really wanted to try that. I did notice that the Real Ale craft beer bloke, he got a guided tour of their place. Lucky bugger. Roll on the day I start getting guided tours. Well, I'm on one day's furlough, but I can see next month, if I keep going with the work I'm doing, that I am catching up on both sites massively. And I'm not far away before the Newark site is nearly breached. The Arnold site that I work at, that site, there's a major amount of work. Just to get it looking as I want it to look, you know, massive paving areas and all sorts. 12%. Oh, biscotti, Impy Stout. I remember when Bailey's brought their biscotti Baileys out. Lovely biscuit tasting Baileys. Absolutely gorgeous beer. Really was. Totally at the spot. And at the moment, I'm in the I'm not buying anything mood at the moment. Even though I've got the money to buy beers, I'm actually not. And you know, waiting to see what happens. I've entered some competitions. I don't know if you're getting the same on Instagram and also Facebook. There's lots of competitions for Burns Night to do tasting and reviews, and I'm thinking I'm up for that. So I've entered a few competitions just to get some. It might be the fact that on the same night I win. It'd be sod's law that you win 3 competitions, and on the same night you sat there and you've got to do a taste with all 3 of them. That'd be weird, wouldn't it? Especially if they want you to actually comment so they know you're watching. Now that would be strange. But yeah, I've entered some competitions. Hopefully I'll win. I entered about 100 competitions before Christmas and only won one thing. So, you know, sometimes your luck's in, I suppose, and sometimes it isn't. Back to work tomorrow. What am I doing tomorrow? I've got my wellies, so I'm happy now. I'll not be having wet feet. Never buy safety trainers from Lidl, because they're shit at this time of the year. Yeah. Nothing worse than cold, wet feet, trust me. Oh, who was playing? In any competition. That's what this Facebook's about, and Instagram. As long as they don't want you to do too much, it does my head in when they want you to share it and then do this and then do that, and you think, fuck that, I'm not doing that. I won't enter that competition. But when the competitions are easy enough, I mean, hey, now that'd be cracking. That I would like. And you know, let's be fair, with anybody reviewing anything, Liverpool versus Man United, eh? Man United are getting better. So do I. I want it to be as good as I can get it. From March onwards, I'll be able to start growing stuff. Nothing's growing at the moment. You need a heated greenhouse. That's a luxury we haven't got. But from March onwards, and certainly April onwards, I can start growing stuff. And it's surprising how fast you can grow plants so that they flower. And I'm used to growing I mean, in my last job, not the last job where that year of hell, but the job before when I had 5 years, I was growing like thousands and thousands of plants. And good evening. And I created a lot for them, saved them thousands of pounds worth of money. And it's interesting. Yeah. It'd be a good tour, wouldn't it? Hey. Yeah, sometimes the social media does my nutting. I can't stand having to post, take a picture, and then write it all out. Some people do mini reviews, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sakes, I can't do mini reviews of every single beer. That's what the video's for, YouTube. So I post a little bit, and I'm starting to get I've got like 250 followers, which is a bit strange, really. In the old days, it'd be called stalkers, but they call them followers these days. And yeah, but it's still, you know, I'm well behind other people. I've seen other people come on. My daughter, she's 10 times better than me. Good evening. I need a toilet on the shed. Luckily, I've got a pissing spot just outside by the by the octog room. There's an area there where you can't be seen from any angle whatsoever. It's a true dead man's space. Perfect pissing spot. Not that you should be pissing when you're doing beer reviews, obviously. You know, leaving the camera is not good. It's not professional. I know some people do Untapped. I've been on Untapped and I look and think, oh shit. Some of these social media platforms I just can't get on with, and I can't get on with that, you know. And then you see some people on the likes of Beer Advocates post some amazing reviews, and you're thinking, God, all that writing down for that review. I'd rather just drink the beer on camera and chat about it, so I don't have to write down all that stuff. Oh, a true juice fest. I remember going for the two pissers. Can't remember the rest, but yeah. Yeah, social media. You know, I've got Twitter as well. I've just started back on that. I missed that last comment there. You see, a lot of I don't trust people who can review, who know exactly every. I mean, some people might be the best reviewers out there, but if you review every beer you get and you know, yeah, makes me laugh. If you know every single, if you can get every single aroma and every single taste, then you're fucking amazing. There's beers that I've just reviewed a beer. I'm gonna put it on later. Absolutely gobsmackingly good beer. Could I get all the flavours? Could I, Bob? And but the beer itself was beautiful. The taste was amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'll look at the back of the bottle, but if I can't get it, I can't get it. You know, I can't. It's just the way it is, isn't it? You know, sometimes it's like some whiskies. You get whiskies where it tells you that there's all these complex flavours, and you're like, I can't get any of that shit. All I can taste is strong fucking whiskey. Exactly, yeah. I suppose that's the main thing. You know, luckily we're all very different, and some of us can get rhubarb. Rhubarb is something that, you know, I can taste rhubarb a mile off. Ginger, again, is something I can taste a mile off. And yeah, some stuff you can, and some stuff you drink it and you're like, I can't taste any of that. I mean, I've drank Hobgoblin for years. Never knew there was banana rather in it. And I read a review on Advocate just to get some hints, looking at the reviews, and they're coming up with banana, and I thought, is that what I'm tasting? So you taste, and sometimes you don't know what you're tasting. No, I'm at Cockcliffe tomorrow. I'm at Kelham Tuesday and Thursday this week. Because of the rain, I need a dry day and a wet day at both. I do like the fruity stuff. Not so keen on the sours, to be honest. I don't mind rhubarbs. Some sours I like. I like rhubarb sours, but I'm not so keen. I mean, it's good that your partner actually likes beer, because my wife won't touch it. Not one iota. She'll have a lager shandy or a lager and black. And she likes Baileys, vodka mud shakes, all that sort of stuff. Good evening. Not as cold, but still chilly. It is. I mean, I've got the fire on one bar, and I'm still a bit freezing. Yeah, I mean, my wife, we've got a bottle of Chambord in the fridge, and she hasn't drank any of that bugger. The thing is with all beers, good evening. Sometimes I watch war films. With any beers or wines, you have to start off on the most subtle. So for me, I suppose Guinness is one of the most subtle stouts you can try. And same with wines, you start off on a rosé, a fruity rosé, because you don't want that vinegar effect that you would get if you tried to go straight to whites. Some people get it, some don't. You start off on rosés, you try different rosés, then you work your way to whites, and then on to reds. Same with stouts. You start off on the most subtle stouty beer, and you work your way up. All about training your taste buds. Strange, isn't it? Only like Guinness in Ireland, it's strange, isn't it? Yeah, it's I mean, Ireland is the best place to have it, obviously. Yeah. So, I absolutely love that. A really great, yeah. A really great fruity beer for me. Smooth, easy drinking, a good entrance level beer for people, for ladies really, who like fruity, like WKD or something like that want to go into craft beers. For me, that's where this is. Somebody who likes their tropical juice and they want to try a beer that's similar to that. This is where excels. Quite a strong hoppy nose and tropical nose at the beginning, which did go more subtle. But yeah, definitely an interesting beer. For those who've got partners who don't drink craft beer, my wife doesn't, you know. All tropical fruits, really. Melons, definitely peach, pineapple. But obviously there's more. Yeah. None of us are perfect. I mean, I bet it says on the can what it actually is, but I can't read the bloody can anyway, so not in this light, I can't read nothing. I'm getting old. Yeah, my eyesight was brilliant at one stage. I think shit these days. Pardon my French. Yes. You didn't those French, they really do swear a lot. But yeah, I thought this was a really nice, juicy beer. Different, very different. There's no twanginess to it. All about the juice. Fruity. Out of 5. See, for me, yeah, I can't read shit on the can. It's that small, the writing. I just can't. Well, Juice Forsyth, it's like a tribute to Bruce Forsyth, as you can tell by the bloke there doing that. That gives the game away there. But yeah, I mean, Bruce Forsyth was some entertainer. Really good. Good game. Yeah, at least he's better than Jimmy Savile. Yeah. I mean, Jimmy Savile, Jesus Christ. Could you imagine Jimmy Savile these days? he would have not got away with any of the shit that he pulled back in them days. Never mind how powerful you are. Someone would have outed him, and he'd have committed suicide in these days. Jim Murphy, CTZ. Can you cringe when you look back at some of the videos you see on TV? This kid's sitting on his knee, and you look and you think, now you think, you dirty bleeder. And you know, the BBC, they let him get away with all that. Disgusting. Maybe one day I'll experiment more with homebrew. And maybe one day I'll actually join a group where we actually do proper microbrewing. One day. Yeah. He wouldn't have got, in this day and age, you would not have got away with it. Good evening. Woodford's Wherry, yes. It's a nice beer. It's a good entry-level beer to try. With all beers, follow the instructions, sterilise. Cleanliness is godliness with all beers. You know, do what it says on the tin. Good evening. King Goblin. Brilliant. Woodford's Head Cracker is an amazing kit. It's like a barley wine. Absolutely amazing. I mean, for your first kit, stick to the instructions 100%. Don't go from the instructions. Once you've brewed for a while, then you'll play with the kits. You know, in a way anyway. You know, not in a bad way, but you know. But yeah, Admiral Reserve. Yeah, Woodford's makes some nice beers. West Coast Wherry is one of theirs as well. So it's like the normal Wherry, but with the you know, West Coast American Amber, they call it. And that's on the back wall behind me. And I better kill this review because I'm making dinner. Yeah, BBC, full of shit. But you know, you look at their news, and they're just there to stir it. Out of 5, then, for me, for this, such a juicy, fruity beer, for me, it hits my spot. Obviously, we are all very different. No, I'm having lamb. Lamb, crispy potatoes, and gravy. Very simple. I've got this rolled lamb joint from Lidl. So you don't get the bone. So there's no bone. So you cut these stringy bits. And I put some rosemary in to add a bit of flavour to it. Cut the stringy bits. Chop it up. And yeah, we're having veg tomorrow night. And we're having a chicken tomorrow night with veg. I know, I'm starving. And yeah, we're going to have that tonight. And I'm cooking. So the wife's been doing cakes again all day. I've been working all day, to be honest. Oh yeah, definitely some mint sauce. Yes, job's a good one. And so yeah, out of 5. Fucking hell, I'm forgetting what I'm doing now. That's what you get for talking. Can't be the only one who forgets what they're doing, surely. Wife keeps saying to me, I'm sure you're getting dementia. And I just think it's a filter. It's the, fuck it, I've heard this for years filter. But good thing you don't watch my videos. No, I've not seen school split a beer before, no. And there's times when I'm driving and all of a sudden I'm not doing, I've got a review to post, so that will come online in about the next 20 minutes. So for me, this, definitely about a 4.45 out of 5. Really nice. Juicy Forsyth. Job's a good one. I loved it. And thank you all for commenting and being here again tonight. Taking your time up, talking rubbish about beers. Not that I know a lot, but much at all, really. But yeah. Surely, you know, it can't be getting into... You've got to wonder whether there's bad media that just makes people look bad. I mean, you only have to look at Donald Trump and some of the shit he comes out with to see what a liar he is. But, you know, people will... There's so much false fake news out there these days. I mean, I don't know Joe Biden from Love the Money. don't really care. He's American, I'm English. But yeah, you hope stories aren't true. But if stories are true and they come out, then, you know, these people won't last, because they'll take their own lives to get away from it in the end. Right, better end this review. Thanks all for watching. See you soon. And back up the house. Get some dinner. Starving. And before I'm too drunk as well.